How to choose between outsourcing and AI for real estate photo editing. Today, we're going to cover it. My name's Don Cavanaugh. I am the founder, operator, owner of Seven Roads Media based here in Western Massachusetts. And we have made the switch to AutoHDR AI photo editing completely. We've been doing it for over a year now, and we absolutely love it. Today, I'm going to talk about how to choose between whether you're outsourcing and whether you're using some sort of AI photo editing. Again, we use AutoHDR. We absolutely love it. I'm going to go through this website here and just kind of touch on some topics that I think are very important when it comes to making this decision, because it really is a big decision. First up, you're not just choosing and editing a solution, you're choosing whether your business can deliver same day photos. We're going to touch on that again. Same day photos, build a consistent brand look, and actually scale without adding headcount. And that's the big thing as AI really starts to come into play even more and more every single day is how can we do the same amount of work with less payroll? That's always a good thing when we can have less payroll. The decision matters more than you think. And here's why. If you wake up in the morning and you're praying that your edits are looking okay, that's a problem. We used to run into that where we'd wake up, we'd check the email from the shoots from the day before, and for a while it was a little hairy. And I've talked about it before. You have different editors on editing on different monitors with slightly different style, and that can have a huge effect on your brand, which also can have an effect on your client's brand. So we want to make sure that when you are, getting your edits back, that they're going along with your brand, and more importantly, you're not opening up emails and you're like, wow, this does not look good. Here it is again. Overseas editors on different monitors, different interpretations of your style, or even what white is, right? Sometimes, or bright, what bright is. And every morning, your QC, whether it's you, if you're still doing it, or you have a specific editor for QCing, every morning they're spending too much time making those adjustments. And yes, there are fantastic outsourcing editors that you can outsource to, overseas editors, stateside editors, absolutely fantastic. However, the decision that we made was consistency and expenses. So that's going to kind of come into play as well. Same day delivery is off the table. If you're hiring in overseas or outsourcing your editing, you can't do it same day. Yes, you can search on fantastic marketplaces like Pixelmob. We used to use Pixelmob. Shout out Pixelmob. Great crew, Moses and Maddie over there. And you can choose an editor that will get you same day editing. You can do it. You're just going to pay more. When edits come back the next morning, it can throw a kink into your workflow. And what we decided was, knowing how good AI photo editing was, specifically AutoHDR, we knew that we could upload, they come back in like less than 30 minutes, have our QC team go through them, make any adjustments. Very rare. It's actually what they're doing now is they're, maybe doing some auto removal, stuff like that, and just get them out the same day. It's great for many reasons. One of which is, speed to market, both from the agent's perspective and also for us, speed from, our camera to the agent. It can be a differentiator for your business. If you're doing outsourcing editing, for the most part, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow morning. And yes, you should be setting expectations. You should be letting agents know, hey, this is when you're going to receive your photos. It shouldn't be next day. It should be next day by a certain time if that's what you're doing. For us, we are 7 p.m. Sometimes they're 8 p.m. when we're super busy or if we have a late one. But generally speaking, our QC team will take care of things ASAP, send them right out. Sometimes it's within 2 hours. It's absolutely amazing. Inconsistency is silently killing your brand. Agents, we're all on Instagram. We're sharing our portfolio on Instagram. Instagram is our portfolio. And if you have inconsistent edits, it's eventually going to have an effect on the agents that decide to work with you. So having the difference with editors using different monitors and different interpretations of bright. I always use that one because, every editor says, oh, that's bright. And you're like, well, it could be brighter, or maybe it's too bright. But when you're consistently delivering the same style, it's going to improve your brand. Hands down. Here is the honest breakdown. I went through and I wrote down everything that was helpful for AI photo editing and how it can affect that outsourcing option. So, first off, turnaround time. Next morning, again, generally speaking, there are outliers, but next morning is essentially going to be the soonest that you're going to get your outsourced edits back. In outsourcing, or excuse me, AI photo editing, again, specifically, I can only speak to AutoHDR because we've been using that. Same day, 7 p.m. target. On occasion, we'll do an 8 p.m., but they're always before 8 p.m. unless it's a twilight. And we are very clear with our agents that twilights will come. We try to get them out the same day, but by the next morning, if not before. Consistency. Outsourcing varies by editor and monitor. Whereas with AI editing, you get the same look on every single job. In fact, with AutoHDR, you can make adjustments depending on the plan that you're on. You can have, we actually use the default one. We feel as though that's the best one, but you can make global adjustments and really, really dial in your brand. It's pretty neat. Cost model. Per image plus revision fees. I don't generally see too many revision fees unless it's something that is, I would even say more so like, hey, can you remove the dumpster? Like, can you delete the dumpster? With AI photo editing, pay on download, you get bulk credit pricing, which is huge for us. I've done other videos on this. We've cut our photo editing in half, at least by half. Scalability. As you grow, you're going to see more bottlenecks in your business, right? So when you have an outsourced editor, you can start to see where bottlenecks are. When we were using an outsourced editor, we found the bottlenecks were in the ordering, right? It just like, again, we were using Pixelmob for a while. Pixelmob has a fantastic user interface. It's great, but it's slower. You have to place an order. Where AutoHDR, again, our workflow, our team, our photographer notifies our ops team, bang, goes right out to AutoHDR. AutoHDR allows you to scale, which outsourcing does too, but it removes those bottlenecks, which is huge, which can really help with that scalability. Quality control. In the morning, when you're outsourcing in the morning, that's when you do your QC, right? And if there's any sort of revision, you send them back and you do this little dance, right? You get them, you have a few things that need to be changed, depending on the platform you're using, email, WhatsApp, whatever it is. You're just kind of going back and forth until you can finally get it. With AutoHDR, we have an in-house QC team that does it immediately. Our QC team is stateside, but there are options to hire an in-house QC editor, Philippines, Latin America, that can do a fantastic job as well. But you're keeping that in-house. You're controlling the speed of the outputs. Same day delivery, it's not possible with overseas except in a few sometimes expensive situations. And for us, it's same day delivery is built in our workflow. Revision fees, sometimes you see them. If it doesn't cost you money, it's going to cost you time. And for AutoHDR, most of those revisions you can handle right inside the app. Absolutely amazing. Ditch your Photoshop, ditch your Lightroom. Complex edits, staging, object removal. Outsourcing, fantastic job. Sometimes we've actually sent some things out. It's always that dumpster removal that is like kind of at an odd angle or something. But for the most part, AutoHDR is going to be able to handle everything right there. And you can also do virtual staging, which is really cool. Learning curve, outsourcing, there's none. You just send them out. You might have to learn how people communicate with you and stuff like that. But for the most part, there isn't really much of a learning curve. With AutoHDR AI, a few test batches, dial in your look, you're ready to go. That's how we did it. Count the steps, then decide. So for us, this is our workflow, pretty much our workflow. We shoot, we cull. Sometimes I actually cull. I'd like to try to cull as much as I can right in camera, right on site. If not, I'll do it mobile on a MacBook Neo. and upload while I'm on the go, which is great because then I have nothing to do when I get home. I can spend time with the family. If not, we're coming back to the office, our home office here. This is my home office. We all have home offices on our team. You call, you upload, and you send it to HDR. We have our shooter notify. There's a handoff. Our shooter notifies the ops coordinator that it's in Dropbox, and then our ops coordinator will upload to AutoHDR. They come back in less than 30 minutes, and then we QC right away. Bang, we deliver them. They're gone, which is great for cash flow too. You're lowering your photo editing expense, and you're increasing your cash flow. During the week, every few hours, there's a payment coming in. Outsource workflow. You shoot, you call, you upload, you place the order, you send it, you receive it, you QC it. If there's revisions, you got to send it back. There's that dance. You receive them, you got to QC them again, and then you can deliver. Every step is another place that the day slips away from you. And we're all about, my agency, we are all about making things as streamlined and efficient as possible. And that allows us to do other things, which we absolutely love. Here's where you need to be honest with yourself. Outsourcing still works. If you're brand new and you're still dialing your editing process, I would even say shooting process, because there are a few things with AutoHDR specifically that you want to make some changes with. We've really dialed it in. I've shared my settings a ton of times, but outsourcing will still work if you're new. Absolutely, 100%. If you're only doing like 10, 12 listings a month and turnaround isn't something that you're really worried about, it's not a priority for you, outsourcing is totally fine. You're not trying to scale, you just need edits done. You're like, maybe you're doing it as a side hustle, something like that. And you're like, hey, I don't want to get too far into it. I can just send them through wherever. Again, Pixelmob is great. Outsourcing is still going to work for you. Here is where, in my opinion, AI is the move. You're doing 15 or more listings a month and volume is growing. We oftentimes do 15 to 20 a day. So that's big for us. Same day delivery is a competitive advantage you want to own. We were the first in our market to go same day, and I definitely feel as though it's a competitive advantage. Shout out to our competitor. Have a great relationship with ours. I highly suggest you develop a strong relationship with your competitor. Everybody, you're tired of your photos looking slightly different job to job, agent to agent. You want that consistency. You want a system that runs without you managing an editing team. That's huge. You upload, they come back, you QC them, they're done. There's no back and forth. You need object removal or virtual staging. AutoHDR handles both inside the same workflow. It literally takes you for us, we like to remove moving cars if we're in the city. And if we're in a suburban setting, we will remove all cars. You do it in 30 seconds. There's no download, send a Photoshop or whatever. Bang, right there, download it. You can do the original. You can do the auto remove as well. You're building a media company, not just doing freelance work. The more efficient you get, the better things are going to be for you. Here's what the system actually looks like in the real world. We kind of went through that again, but just very important to dial in your workflow. We are located in Western Mass, Northern Connecticut. We target same day delivery on every single job by 7 p.m. And this has been fantastic for us, really, honestly. And again, this is our workflow. We shoot, we try to upload on location. Not all of us do. I certainly try to do it. I prefer to come home and not have anything to do. You call, your best pictures are chosen, and we reorder them inside of Adobe Bridge. We move files to Dropbox, notify the team. The team sends it to AutoHDR. They come through in an email. Our QC team will edit them. Bang, out the door. Here's the bottom line, and this is what actually costs you to wait, what it actually costs you to wait. Every morning you wait for edits is a morning you cannot offer same-day delivery. Again, competitive advantage with same-day delivery. Agents who need photos live by the end of the day are not going to wait until tomorrow. Some would argue that, hey, those aren't the agents that I necessarily want, but I genuinely feel as this industry grows and gets even more competitive, those are things that agents are going to look for. Speed. Inconsistent editing is not just an aesthetic problem, it's a trust problem. If you're inconsistent, your agents are going to find somebody who's consistent. That's the way it works. Revision cycles are not just annoying, they're workflow killers, and their time sucks. That back and forth dance just costs you time. It costs you money. It's annoying. If you go auto HDR, AI photo editing, the other options that are out there, you're going to, remove that dance, which is huge. And actually the photographers who are scaling right now are not editing faster. They've just built a system. I am huge on systems. My entire company runs on systems, and auto HDR has just fit into our system. We do about 120 shoots roughly. We're scaling higher right now in 2026, but our systems are really good. Allow us to get same day photos back. The workflow is the competitive advantage. Everything else is just gear. And that is so true. When you have smooth and efficient workflows, things just work better. That's the way it is. So if you're interested in utilizing a tool like AutoHDR, happy to give you some free credits. Just shoot me a message and I'll send you over a link. And it's an affiliate link. So I use this because I use the links because I use the system all day, every day. We absolutely love it. And if you're looking for more information about real estate media, the real estate media industry, just click subscribe. Would love to interact with you here on this channel. Happy shooting.